Making an advent calendar is hard. If you remember my last week's video, I stated this. As a matter of fact, I would have loved to have seen 2 different advent calendars. One, all the playsets and minifigs, and one, all the micro builds. So I made the second one. I made the micro builds one. Now you and I both know that this is a major undertaking, and I hear you saying, Nora, how could you possibly make all of this in 1 week? And I say to you, you silly girl, I didn't make it in 1 week. I've been working on all of these weekly videos for the past couple of months. I want to make sure that you get quality videos all year long, so I've got stuff in the works for the next couple of months already. Now this video is mostly me sharing the spoils of my work, but let me tell you a little bit about what went into this video. It was about day 16 of the advent calendar videos when I realized, wow, this is kind of boring. Even I could do better than this. So I got the idea to create my own, and since I can't create my own minifigs, I figured I'd do the micro builds version. But only having a little bit of recent history building Lego, I had to figure out what I was going to build and still be able to make it look good. I wanted to go with something that already had a lot of reference photos and was going to be pretty easy to replicate with the standard shape of bricks. So architecture naturally came to mind. And of course, I had to set myself some limitations because what self-respecting YouTuber doesn't arbitrarily increase the difficulty of their already hard tasks for the sake of a better video? My limitations were as follows. 1, they had to be 25 pieces or less, meaning 600 total pieces. They had to fit in a 4 stud by 4 stud grid. And finally, they had to be able to be built IRL. No illegal techniques or impossible bricks. Luckily, I already had Studio 2 downloaded on my computer. And what is Studio 2, you ask? Well, you ignorant rube, you utter babe with no knowledge, it is in fact the clearly titled Lego design program that I definitely didn't have to search for 30 minutes to find on my computer. But once I found it, I spent about an hour refamiliarizing myself with that program and then dove right in. Due to my ADHD, I was able to hyperfixate on the build, and after 8 hours I emerged with a file in hand and absolutely zero memories of making it. And having hyperfixated, I had no recording because, oops, I forgot. And I couldn't tell you why I chose to build them a certain way other than that I had 12 tabs open featuring fantasy properties and Lego building techniques. I don't know if you can tell, but I put my hair up in a ponytail because it was starting to get hot in here. So the main part was done and it only took 1 fever dream to get there. So that means all I gotta do is the easy part, the instructions, right? Wrong again, you buffoon, you absolute worm. This was the hard part, subdividing the build, choosing exactly what steps need to go into it to make sure that it's readable, and then formatting the PDF were by far the most time-consuming parts of this project. So be grateful that you get these instructions for free, you absolute child. But since you came here to see the builds, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. If you don't want to be spoiled, go into the description. There's a link to the Rebrickable page. You can download it, and then you can skip the next few minutes, like a fool. In order, we have my childhood home, a gas station, a garden, the Puff residence, an office, a street, a postmodern home, a wizard school, fuck turfs, a convenience store, the Simpsons residence, a tow camper and campsite, the Goth and Barbie houses, a vacant lot, a halfling home, an alien palace, Arrakis and a sandworm, a beach house, a pool and lounge, a church, an igloo, a witch hut, an evil lair, and the Lars homestead. And there you have it, my advent calendar. I took a lot of inspiration from builds that were already online, as well as other fantasy properties. So I can't claim 100% originality on this, but I am incredibly proud of what I came up with here. Be sure to stick around and subscribe, because I actually have a plan for a follow-up video where I source all the pieces and make a few limited runs of this, with actual packaging and boxing and trying to figure out that, so please stick around. And if you like those builds, please leave a like. I spent so much effort on this video, it's insane. And I intend on spending a lot of effort on my future videos too. And if you want to see next week's video early, go check out my Patreon, it's one of the tiers. If you've made it this far in the video, go and leave the word association in your comments somewhere. That way I know you watched all the way to the end, and yes, that is a clue for next week's video. Anyways, stay awesome. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey, you made it to the end of a norameld video. That is something I'm not going to compliment you for because it was an easy thing to do because it was an enjoyable video that you were going to click like on and you are going to subscribe and comment and look at my dog, Birdie. Hey, Birdie. Hey, Birdie. Did you like the video? I think Birdie slept through the video. Sorry about that.